Hey, welcome back to the Tub, where today we are going to focus on Kanto yet again. I'm basically acting like GameFreak in this situation, as I won't stop referencing their baby, the first ever region of Pokemon. Anyways, we already covered the grass type and the water type, so by process of elimination, now we'll be covering, you guessed it, the ice type! Nah, I'm just kidding. I wish it was the ice type, but instead, I gotta talk about the fire type. Great timing, as it's going to be over 100 degrees Fahrenheit for the first time where I'm at since 2009. At least when I made this script. This is far after that. And in fact, you're probably hearing fireworks throughout this recording and in a few others, so apologies for that. Happy 4th of July, everybody. Speaking of the past, we'll be trailblazing the effort to find the advantages and disadvantages for each Pokemon used in each region for a specific type. We'll still be looking at important battles using the normal scale, but we'll also be looking at the Pokemon themselves. Keep in mind, this is a looser top 5. Any Pokemon can fit your team, but individually speaking, these are the best. So let's ignite the video. No, I didn't mean like that! So this is a new addition to the series where we take a look at the type as a whole. For example, it would be like if you were to have a monotype as a starter and took it throughout the game. So, with that, let's take a look at the fire type in Kanto. It's not very good. It starts off immediately on the wrong foot with Brock's rock types and Misty's water types, and the fact that you have to face Giovanni's ground types 3 times. Once in Celadon City, once in Silphco, and then one more time in the Viridian Gym. Doesn't bode well. To top it off, the Elite Four is even worse. Lorelei, Bruno, and Lance all hold an advantage over fire types one way or another. The only good matchup fire types have is from Erica. That's about it. I'm not including any trainer that has one Pokemon that fire types do well against, like Sabrina's Venomoth. The rest are pretty neutral matchups from a matchup standpoint, so you could probably get away with not using a fire type for your team in Kanto, but we still have to find out the best regardless. To kick things off, we have Ninetales, who can be found before heading to Celadon City, which is fantastic because the last thing a fire type wants to do is skip out on battling Erica. And better yet, you get to avoid battling Brock and Misty with it. And honestly, Ninetales is a great option as it's fast, rocking a base speed of 100, and its special attack isn't too bad at base 81. And since it's a mono fire type, it will retain the same struggles and strengths against the game from capture on. The issues crop up with the fact that we have to evolve it with a Firestone, meaning that the level up moveset is absolute garbage if you didn't reach level 29 yet, where Vulpix learns Flamethrower. And even then, if you wait around to level up your Vulpix, its move pool doesn't get any better. Since it heavily relies on its special attack, it doesn't get any other special attacking move other than the fire type moves, so you're not really going to get any extra firepower from Ninetales outside of fire moves. But it's still a cute Pokemon, so it's got that going for it. The best moveset would probably be based around status moves, with Flamethrower, Fire Spin, Will-O-Wisp, and Quick Attack for residual damage. Rapidash is up next, and a lot of the same problems plague it as much as Ninetales. But it's a little bit different. You can't encounter one until you defeat Blaine and visit the Sevi Islands, so any good matchups are completely out the window. I mean, its speed is great at base 105, it's fantastic against non-fire or normal type resists, such as the water type, and its attack stat is good enough with a few attacks it can get to utilize it. Its fire type moves are going to struggle a bit with only base 80 special attack, and the foreshadowed issues shared with Ninetales remains, the lack of a great move pool. Outside of normal type moves or fire type moves, Rapidash isn't going to be able to take advantage of any nifty coverage. The best moveset I could see it using is Flamethrower, Iron Tail, Body Slam, and Bounce, or Fire Spin, or Quick Attack. Rapidash isn't bad, but its late addition to the game isn't worth the shallow move pool. Finally a fire type to show how bad the fire type is in Kanto. We already mentioned how bad the fire type does early on against Brock and Misty, so that goes against Charizard already. But there is one thing that's different compared to the other fire types already featured, and that is the flying type. This opens up a few different things, such as a better matchup against Giovanni, while avoiding his Rhyhorn, Blue, while obviously avoiding his water type, and Bruno, while again going MIA against his Onixes. That's all due to the new flying coverage Charizard gets. Its base 100 speed, and it being immune to ground because of the flying type, and its move pool is pretty stellar too. You can add other coverage moves from the Dragon type, Fighting type, Ground type, Rock type, and it's a marvel to look at. The one thing that drags it down is that you obtain it too early, and it just sits there on the sidelines. Or you can use it anyway, but it's about as useful as a vegetable. That, and it gets absolutely giga-f***ed by any rock move. Keep it away from the rock, otherwise this is what will happen. But a moveset of Flamethrower, Fly, Mega Punch, or Kick, and Dragon Claw will be a nice combo. You can use the other coverage mentioned, but more than likely they'll be needed on a Pokemon who can actually use it more effectively. Now the number 2 fire type has the same struggles as Rapidash does. It's a mono fire type, it's caught late in the game, Cinnabar Islands, so it's a little bit earlier than Rapidash, and it can't take advantage of matchups against Erica. The difference? One phrase. Psychic types in Kanto. If you don't have a Psychic type on your team, then teaching TM29 Psychic to Magmar will be your linchpin to victory. It already has a great base special attack at base 100 to use that move from, but also has a quick 93 base speed and 95 base attack you can utilize other moves effectively with. It's like a Swiss Army knife. Now it will fare better against Lorelei, run over Bruno, and be more effective against Blue. The only downside is that you have to wait until right before battling Blaine to pick it up, like I mentioned before, but it's still maybe worth it if you don't have a great Psychic user. The best moveset I could come up with would be Flamethrower, Psychic, Iron Tail / Brick Break, and Mega Kick / Punch. Oh, yeah, it can use Brick Break too to pair with its 95 base attack. I wasn't kidding when I said it was a Swiss Army knife. It's sharp! Ah! I just cut myself thinking about it! Is it bleeding? No, I think we're good. The Trail of Blood doesn't exist, but the trail we blaze to the top of the list here leads us to the honorable mentions. Or you can call them dishonorable mentions, as there are only 2 other fire types to choose from here. Flareon. While it is a stone evolution that doesn't abandon its level up moveset, and it gets decent coverage of Shadow Ball and Dig, its stats are reversed to a point where you're actually throwing the battle if you want to use a fire move, and it's not super effective. Also, it's slow as hell, and hell doesn't appreciate its fiery presence as Flareon isn't hot enough with its fire attacks. Moltres. Tied for the latest fire type you can pick up, it's a fantastic choice as it's already level 50. But, I mean, I don't think it's the best still, as what matchups does it have to take advantage of here other than Bruno, because it's encountered so late. And even then, it still gets... But with that, let's reach the end of this trail to see who the best fire type is. Number 1 has the best of both worlds. You find it relatively early, before Erica, decent move pool, and great stats to back up said move pool. Sadly, if you own Leaf Green, you're gonna have a sad time, because you'll need to trade it in order to get the best fire type, Arcanine. Literally, the disadvantages are so marginal that the advantages blow them out of the water. The only thing going against Arcanine is the fact that it's a stone evolution, which burns up its moveset upon evolution. If you want to wait until it's level 49 for Flamethrower, or just settle for Fire Blast after getting TM38 from Blaine, the choice is yours. Its stats are great across the board with base 100 attack, 100 special attack, and 95 speed. It can take advantage of its entire move pool, but the biggest kicker is its ability of Intimidate. You cut the opponent's attack just by switching in, and that's insanely useful. Why do you think VGC players constantly use Pokemon like Incineroar? A lot of it has to do with the ability. Well, and the fact that Incineroar has Fake Out, but that's beside the point. You don't even need to burn your opponent to cut its attack. It's just an overall great choice to fill the fire type slot for your Kanto team, especially when you can roll out with the moveset of Fire Stab, either Fire Blast or Flamethrower, Extreme Speed, and any combination of Iron Tail, Bite, Dig, or Aerial Ace. It's your ace in the hole! Finally! At last, a Psychic type didn't take the crown. It almost did with Magmar's coverage, but finally we escaped the wrath of the Psychic types. Hopefully there's more of a selection for other types in Kanto, otherwise these lists are going to be much smaller. But as for the fire type, even though Arcanine seems like the best, really all fire types still suck in Kanto. Just look at these final scores. Moltres is the best at -35, but even still, that's a really low score. but you can help by liking the video and subscribing to get us back to the top. But that'll wrap things up here. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch you back next time at the top, because you know that's how we do it.